Everybody, Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific 3 Eastern, Sundays 3 Pacific 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. And it is Fun Friday here on the show. You know what that means? We got a lot to talk about today. SmackDown is tonight. We got 6 segments announced for the show. A lot to talk about regarding SmackDown. Tomorrow, of course, is Collision. And we have got Blood and Guts Advantage Series matches for both the men and the women. That, of course, is leading to a big AEW Blood and Guts show coming up on Wednesday. And also Tuesday, there is a big NXT show as they're starting 2 weeks of Gold Rush. So a lot of big TV shows coming up. And then, of course, we've got all of the news, including an update on the AEW National Championship, and as well as the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. We got some matches for Final Battle, NXT ratings from this past Tuesday night. NXT is not doing so bad with this Big Data Plus panel. Not doing well, but compared to some other shows, they're not doing too bad. We've also got a note on the WWE ticket prices. We've got a whole bunch of new Raw and SmackDown dates heading into 2026, the Road to WrestleMania tour. We've got a live episode of TNA Impact, which is coming up next Thursday. Update on Dustin Rhodes. There's a new ID program member and plenty more. It is Friday, Fun Friday. Can't spell fun without Lance Storm. He'll join us today. And you can text us because we should have a lot of time for questions here today. So if you have questions for either myself or Lance, send them to 425-780-7566. That's the text message line. Text them to me, 425-780-7566. You can email f4wonline@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Threads, Instagram, and Cameo, F4W Online, Threads, Instagram, and Cameo. You should grab a Cameo this weekend. They're a lot of fun. At Bryan Alvarez, X and Blue Sky. Back in a moment. Observer Live. Check out this free video and make sure you hit like and subscribe.
If Truth didn't have the best weekend in this company, then Mr. Iguana did.
Oh, yeah, this guy is over, dude.
We'll get to him in the Worlds Collide review, but
he's got merch up on WWE Shop.
He's going to make so much
He's got these
money.
Kids that want to see more Mr. Iguana.
Yeah. So
his face paint is so funny.
I must stop you right here. It's not face paint.
Oh, would you stop?
It's head paint.
Yeah, it looks,
he paints his whole damn head.
It looks like he's he gets held upside down and they just dunk his head in green paint.
Yes.
It's absolutely bizarre.
And when he's not wrestling, he wears the round silver spectacles.
Yes.
And
he
flicks his tongue constantly.
Yes.
As an iguana would. And Del Toro and Octagon do whatever, and people are patient, but they don't care. And then Iguana tags in, and they are hyped. It took about 7 seconds to make himself my favorite luchador. He starts, I forget who he's in there with, but the guy offers a handshake, and so he licks it because he's an iguana, and then he gets hit with a shoulder tackle, or it's a chop. He takes a chop, he drops to his back, and sticks all 4 limbs straight in the air.
Yes.
He's playing dead like an iguana would. So then he brings in the puppet. I didn't get the puppet's name. I should have used it 50 times. But it's an iguana puppet that he thinks is real. Well, sometimes.
Already up on WWE Shop.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You know if Harley Cameron's doll is on the AEW?
I do not know.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there.
So he starts doing spots with the puppet in his mouth. He lets the puppet try to get the pin. And amidst all this silliness, Conan says, you know this, Mr. Iguana, he's most popular with children.
I liked how as soon as the puppet started doing spots, Corey Graves goes, is that legal in Mexico? And without skipping a beat, Conan goes, yes.
Low on the list of things you will see in a Lucha Libre match, especially in AAA. So he starts using the puppet more as a weapon, or as a distraction, I should say. But it ends up with Lindsay Dorado getting a hold of this puppet, and he snaps, and he stomps the puppet, and he grabs the puppet, and he Spanish flies the puppet. This crowd is outraged. They're pissed. They're furious. But you know he's even more pissed and furious?
It got more heat than anything else Maybe on the entire show,
Mr.
actually.
Goddamn Iguana.
They were
who's
furious.
seething and his eyes are breaking out, and he snaps and just rips ass. He grabs his own lizard and is whipping these guys with it. And then they remember it's just a puppet and they stop selling.
This was a very, very fun match. I liked it a lot. And there's a lot to learn here about marketing.
Yeah.
You know, when AEW announced that national title, there were people on the board that were like, I don't really care one way or the other, but I hate that it's going to dominate conversation for days. Like, I think trying to make me feel guilty or something, like it's my fault that they introduced a new title. And I wasn't going to open with it, but I'm looking at the chat, and all people are talking about is the national title. So I don't know what you want me to do. But I got to mention something about it. It actually has nothing to do with it, but it does. So yesterday on the show, we were talking about how Harley Cameron pinned Athena in the women's tag tournament. And I was skeptical that Harley was going to get a shot at Athena's title. Now, to be fair, we did make a correction about 10 minutes later, but everybody leaped to tell me I was wrong before they listened 10 further minutes. She is, in fact, getting a shot at the Ring of Honor women's title. It will be Harley Cameron versus Athena on the November 20th episode of Ring of Honor. And I bring that up, A, as a correction. They are, in fact, doing that. And B, because the winner of this match is going to be defending the title at Final Battle. Ring of Honor Final Battle. Ring of Honor Final Battle is December 5th. Now, we have 2 matches announced for Final Battle. Friday, December 5th from Columbus, Ohio, streaming on Honor Club. And we actually have no names for these matches. We just have 2 matches announced. There will be an AEW National Championship defense on that show. So Bobby Lashley's going to Ring of Honor, everybody. Probably not. But there will be that. And also, do you guys know what the second match is for Ring of Honor Final Battle? This has kind of flown a little bit under the radar. The second match at Ring of Honor Final Battle, Friday, December 5th, Columbus, Ohio, streaming on Honor Club, is in fact a tournament final for the new Ring of Honor Women's Pure Championship belt.
Oh, Jesus.
There's actually another belt that is being introduced.
I think they mentioned that one a long time ago, though.
Well, yeah, but this is a tournament. This is the tournament finals. They've been doing matches, but yeah, we got another belt coming up. The Ring of Honor Pure Women's Championship. That belt will be decided. That's another one for Mercedes to win.
See, I would rather Harley not get a Ring of Honor championship match anytime soon.
Because she's going to lose.
No, because she just scored the biggest win of her life. She's in a tag team tournament for a tag team title. Why wouldn't she stay focused on that? She's made a commitment to Willow to go after tag team titles. Going off on a side tangent to win a singles title at the same time, to me, just is counterproductive. Like, keep it in your back pocket for if you don't win the tag team titles, then you can go, hey, I did beat Athena, give me a title shot. But going to it while you're still involved in a tournament to become the first tag team champion, have one focus.
I should also note this, because we talked about it last night. So Mercedes has 27 titles or whatever, and one of them is the Ring of Honor Interim Women's Television Championship, okay? And so the actual Ring of Honor Women's Television Champion is Red Velvet, and Red Velvet is apparently good to go. So now they can do the unification match. And so I asked last night, Well, when she wins that belt, is she now going to have her 14th belt? Because that's a different belt than the Ring of Honor Interim Women's Television Championship. And of course, no one knows what the actual answer will be, but I was alerted that there is precedent. There is precedent. Sammy Guevara, I don't even know what belt he had. I forget. I think it might have been
TNT?
It might have been the TNT title. But he had some title. Somebody had some title, and then he won the interim version of that title. I think he was the interim TNT champion. And then he ended up winning the unification match. And from that point forward, he did come out with both of the belts. So I think that will count as a new belt.
Which is ludicrous.
How many belts do we need, Lance? How many belts do we need?
I don't know. I think there's about 35 or 40 currently, if you count AEW, Ring of Honor, and all of the other championships from other promotions they acknowledge on their TV.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is.
I also wanted to mention this. So Triple H he made a comment a couple of days ago, and everybody's jumped all over it.
No.
He basically said, what he said was, I don't book to have great matches. I book to have great storylines, okay? That's what he said. And then, like a bunch of people that hate WWE and him and whatever, they have now decided that what he actually said was, I don't care about great matches. That's not what he said. What he said was, I don't book for great matches. I book for great storylines. And I can already see on the chat that people still don't know what's going on. Listen, here's the thing.
When you have confidence in your locker room, all of the matches will be good, regardless which ones you book. So he's saying he's booking. The focus is for the story, trusting that they will actually be still good matches.
Yes, you cannot watch, like, if you think that he thinks that wrestling doesn't matter, then you don't watch the product. I mean, I just watched a Monday Night Raw where it was like one great match after another for 2 hours and 40 minutes until the main event. So 2 hours. 2 hours of one great match after another. What he's saying is there's two ways to book, okay? You can find something, okay, for example, the Bloodline, all right? Sammy was put into the Bloodline as a heel. It was supposed to be a short-term thing. But Sammy ended up being really funny, and he started cracking the guys, and people started to really enjoy it. And so they built this storyline that involved Sammy. The storyline was more important. They shifted and they changed the storyline. And then, of course, matches ended up taking place. But, like, the focus was on what's this storyline, okay? The other way to book is to look at your roster and go, I got two awesome guys. I got Takeshita and I got Okada. Therefore, I'm going to book a storyline that results in them having an incredible match, okay? There's nothing wrong with either, okay? Obviously, Tony will put together like a bunch of great matches for a pay-per-view and book backwards so that he gets to these fantastic matches, okay? And I don't even think he always does that. I mean, it's the same thing. He's just going to have great matches. There's so many guys. But Triple H is not looking at the roster and going, you know what would be a fantastic match? Rey Mysterio Jr. and Phoenix. Therefore, I am going to book backwards from there to put a match with these two guys together that I know will be great. That's all he's saying. He is booking his storylines based on what he thinks is a great storyline that will get people interested in matches. At that point, hopefully the matches are good. They're not always going to be good, but I mean, for everybody that loves, like, God bless the guy, Jey Uso, he ain't going to go out there and have great matches, okay? But the people got into Jey Uso. They got into him going after the title. They got into him beating Gunther at WrestleMania. They got into Yeet. And so he booked storylines around this guy. But he certainly was not booking storylines going, you know, it's going to be a great match, Jey Uso and whoever, because it's probably not going to be. So we'll get Lance's thoughts. Hold that thought. We'll get Lance's thoughts on how to book after the break. Wrestling Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. What was up with this week? Everyone thinking Monday was Tuesday.
Well, that was just
Everyone?
you, sir.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it happened, it was like I got all these people that were messaging me going, my God, I thought it was Tuesday too today. It was like something happened with like the moon or something, and it caused everybody to think that Monday was Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, God, am I losing it?
Yes.
Have you ever lost something and gave up all hope before finding it in an obvious place?
Yeah, my mind. I went to go make her the quesadilla, and I opened up the pantry, and there's no tortillas. I looked down on the ground, and there's the package that they used to be in, but there's no tortillas. So I call Hanale over, and she says, well, I didn't know how to close the bag.
Uh-oh.
So I put them all in a box of light bulbs. I said, why did you put them in a box with light bulbs? Swear to God, she goes, if that box is good enough for light bulbs, it's good enough for tortillas. And I said, no, that's not worse. I open the box, these tortillas are hard as a rock.
She is so your daughter.
Crumbling to dust.
It's insane.
God.
I lost my wallet at the Alamo Dome. The next day, I got a call from an usher that he found it. When I met up with him, everything was still in it. He refused to accept any money from me.
Wow.
Wow. I once lost my wallet in El Segundo.
Lantian says Big Dave's sanity.
Wow.
Well, I mean, he found it then. It's right there. It's never lost.
99% of the time, no matter where I park, I always know exactly where it is. But there's always that 1% of the time where is my car?
Dude.
And it's like in a bizarre place. Like, what's going on? All right, Granny, what do we got?
We need to buy you a machine that you speak into, and it converts your voice into text.
Oh, my God.
So you don't have to write it down anymore.
Absolutely not.
And then I think even better, we put that text into a text-to-voice app and have it read her.
Oh, my God.
Whatever. Stacy Keebler, her and Tori had a eggnog fight. Just a minute here.
Okay.
Lose my page.
Then he
I
looks
decided
completely depressed over there.
Take something from down below.
Mind your own business.
They're like,
Ray Kinsella builds a baseball field
Field
on
of
his
Dreams. Kevin Costner.
baseball.
James Earl Jones.
If you build it, they will come.
Iowa.
Oh, all right.
You didn't let me finish the question, Brian.
She's right.
Oh, she yells at me. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here. Wrestling Observer Live. Lance Storm is joining us. What's your take on all this booking?
Well, I think either can work, and I think the best illustration of what Hunter means is if you have a guy like Sami Zayn, he's clearly going to have a great match with anybody. He almost always has the best match on the show anyway. So with a guy like that, you're better to look at him and go, okay, what's the best story I can tell with him? And your Bloodline one was a great example because that caught fire and really helped ignite business when it happened. And again, if you're in AEW and you've got, well, what am I going to do with Kyle Fletcher? Well, he's a guy that can have a great match with anybody too. So there's nothing wrong with just deciding what's a great story to tell with Kyle Fletcher. But if you want to be the booker that just go, okay, who's Kyle Fletcher going to have the greatest match with? And pick a guy, whoever it is, Kenny Omega. If you can then come up with a great story to build to that match, then that can work too. So it's just a booking approach. And if you have a strong enough locker room, which both companies do, you can just tell the best story you can.
We got the NXT numbers for Tuesday. The show did 528,000 viewers in a .08, which of late is like a good number. Their 18 to 49 was up dramatically. 14% from the previous week. Highest rating since October 14th. And they were going head-to-head with an NBA game on NBC and cable coverage of the 2025 U.S. elections, which crushed everything on cable all night. Now, here's the important stat, and this is not just NXT, but if you want to look at NXT and SmackDown and Collision and Dynamite and all of the shows on television, since they switched to Big Data Plus Panel, NXT year over year is down 14% in viewership and 52% in 18 to 49.
Oof.
This Big Data Plus Panel, I think they pretty much determined that it underrepresents 18 to 34. And, you know, as much as we talk about how old your average viewer is of wrestling, that's the average age. And the fact is that wrestling does have a lot of 18 to 34 and 18 to 49 viewers. And because those are underrepresented, and this is for all of them. This is for, you know, SmackDown, NXT, Collision, Dynamite. They're all getting murdered. Like, Collision did a .03 in 18 to 49. And granted, they had monster competition, but still, I mean, these 18 to 49 numbers are atrocious. And obviously, you know, it's not a big deal right now for WWE because they've just signed all of their new deals. Like, they're locked in for years and years and years. But the bad news is AEW is not locked in. AEW is locked in through 2027. AEW has, let's see, my math ain't good, about 14 months left. AEW has 14 months guaranteed left. After that, they could get their option year picked up, but they also might not. They're only guaranteed 14 more months. And with these numbers, the way they are, I mean, it used to be, you know, people used to say like, well, you know, they're not getting 1 million. And it was like, it doesn't matter if it's 1 million. Like, they're number one on cable most nights. Well, now, after this Big Data Plus Panel, not only are they not doing 1 million, they ain't number one on cable. And so, I mean, there's really two things that need to happen. Well, two things. Either A, they need to figure out a way to get these numbers up, or B, they need to figure out how Big Data Plus Panel can start measuring 18 to 34 better. Because if not, 2027 is going to come, and it is potentially not a good thing at all for AEW.
The thing that I'm curious about, especially with demos, in that, from what I understand, you know, back in the day, they had people that wrote their diaries and logged, and it's like, hey, my 12-year-old kid watched this show at this time and so forth. But if they're just electronically being able to track things, like my cable company can tell whatever channel my cable box is on and what's, you know, being used on my television. But how do they tell whether it's me or my kid that turned on the television and watched Dynamite, as an example?
You're talking about now?
Yeah.
That's the point. You can't.
So if they're just going, oh, Lance Evers, who's, you know, purchased and is the name on the account, this 56-year-old man is watching these shows. Meanwhile, it's my 25-year-old kid watching the shows. It's like you're misrepresenting the demos.
Yes, the big. I'm trying to figure out which is which. I presume Big Data is like the smart TVs because that's Big Data. But basically, I mean, the panel measurement is the same. They're still doing the Nielsen set-top box or whatever. They don't really have physical diaries anymore, but you know, they still have panel. But the Big Data, I mean, there's a lot of data, but not actually any real data. So like, they don't even know if your TV, they don't even know if you're watching TV. Like, if your TV is on, the thing doesn't even know if you're watching it. And so they have to use like AI or whatever to determine, okay, he turned the volume up, he must be watching it. Oh, he, switched channels and came back, he must be watching it. But and here's one of the big things. With sports, it's different because they feel that for a sports show, you turn it on and you just chill out. And maybe you go somewhere, it's going to be a long game, you're eating or whatever, but you're just sitting there the whole time. But for non-sports programming, they figure that's not the way it's going to be. And so non-sports programming is also much shorter than a game. A game could go, those baseball games go in 18 innings and it goes on forever. But like a TV show is usually like an hour, half hour, whatever. And so these smart TVs, like if you don't click something over X amount of time, maybe it's an hour and 15 minutes or whatever, it presumes you fell asleep. You could be sitting there furiously scribbling notes on Dynamite, and your TV has logged you as going to sleep. So they extrapolate, they take all this big data, and then they extrapolate it down using the Nielsen to try to whatever, and it's clearly, in some ways it's better, in some ways it's much worse.
Now, with my cable service, TV service, if I don't push a button on my remote for an hour or more, it comes up and asks me, are you still watching?
Well,
yes.
Yeah, some of them do that.
So that would at least avoid some of the issue.
Yeah. So Scarlett and Killer Cross appeared on the Coach and Bro show this week, talking about WWE. And Jonathan Coachman asked if the WWE wrestlers were talking about ticket prices, which were going up. And Scarlett said constantly. And the big thing wasn't even so much about how much tickets were for fans, but the big thing was they couldn't get comps anymore. She said, we noticed it with the comp tickets. We used to have no issues in different cities if we wanted to get comp tickets for friends and family. There were tickets that we were told were going to be approved, and then last minute we were told that the comp tickets were available, and day of, no tickets. But they're deciding to sell them instead. So little things like that we would notice. We noticed the ticket prices going higher. The fans would tell us. Definitely a topic of conversation in the locker room. It's been about a year or so, maybe longer, where they're selling so many tickets that in a lot of different places, they start putting up the signs backstage, absolutely no comps. Like, you can't get anybody in. And, there were some wrestlers. Remember, I can't remember what event it was, but I think Brett was there, and he got put in a suite.
It was a Saturday Night Main Event, I think.
Yeah, I think he was really angry. Like, they told him he'd have a seat, and then he got there, and they put him in a suite. And then it turned out that, like, he wasn't the only one. There were, like, a half dozen wrestlers that ended up in different suites because they didn't have seats for him after all. And, yeah, the best way to get your family to a show is to somehow get them into a storyline when they're coming to your town. Because then at least they'll bring them out and sit them in the front row for your match, and then they get rid of them again. But, yeah, they are not doing comps. Very, very few comps. They're just selling everything at gigantic ticket prices. So it'll keep going until it stops, which it will at some point. You can't keep going up forever. They got a bunch of very expensive shows coming up. 11 dates confirmed. The Road to WrestleMania tour. We got, starting February 2nd, it's Raw in Philadelphia, SmackDown in Charlotte, Raw in Cleveland, SmackDown in the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Raw in Memphis, SmackDown in Sunrise, Florida, Raw in Atlanta, Georgia, KFC in Louisville, Raw in Indianapolis, SmackDown in Raleigh, and another SmackDown in St. Louis. And, of course, if you look at all of the cities, the old days of Raw coming to Everett, brother, that ain't happening no more. Some of these, they're going to the biggest markets. They're selling the most tickets. Kind of sad. Paisley always asks, Daddy, will you ever take me to a WWE show? And I always answer yeah, next time they come for a house show, we'll go. And then I realize they ain't ever coming here for a house show again. They are never coming here for a house show again.
What a false promise to give your child.
Yeah, I'm not even sure I'd be able to go if it was a Raw or SmackDown. How much money I'd have to pay to go there? It's crazy. I ain't getting a comp, tell you that much. So there you go. What's going on with TNA next week?
We are at Full Sail in Orlando, Florida. We've got a live Impact on Thursday. I don't recall the name of the app special that is on Friday, but we have one. Potentially Turning Point. I could be wrong on that. I'm terrible with names. And then we are also doing
Friday
TV.
will be Turning Point on TNA Plus.
Got it right. And then Saturday is a TV taping. So we have 3 big days in Orlando, and Thursday will be live. Well, I guess Friday will be live too.
Yep, TNA Impact live on Thursday. There will be a concert with Elijah. Cedric Alexander versus Jason Hotch.
That'll be good.
And we're going to do a lot of questions when we come back from the break. Text me, 425-780-7566, f4wonline@gmail.com. Back in a moment, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful.
I am going to channel the well-known, infamous roast of Bryan and Lance.
Oh, my God.
I vaguely remember this.
Lance was a champion in virtually every company he has appeared in. While he did hold the distinction of holding 3 titles, that angle fizzled out faster than his podcast, Killing the Town.
Wow. I now remember this utter disaster of a roast.
Let's get Lance a chair to sit in. And as we do, could we also bring someone up here to show him how to use it? I remember that chair shot.
I
don't remember who it was
the
on, but
utter
I remember
silence that this roast was met with.
Tom, at least I was smart enough not to do those chair shots again.
Bryan, besides me, there are others who I'm sure dislike you, like Vince Russo, Eric Bischoff, but I think you're great, like a guiding light or a father, which is why I'm not surprised when you screw me every week. The best-selling author of The Death of WCW. He had just completed his new book, for which actually Lance Storm wrote the foreword, which is 3 more than most wrestling fans know.
Hideous. Atrocious.
It must be hard when you look so young. If I didn't know better, I'd say you had your grandma's jeans. But actually, if the camera panned down, I bet Lance is wearing them. Anyways, let's start the show. Carmelo went for the La Mystica. Andrade went for the Message.
It's actually
and it
not
ended-
the La Mystica. It starts like a La Mystica, but the La Mystica is actually a submission, and he doesn't land in the submission. He just does the whole slam part and then jumps up.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
La Mystica
Oh, whoa,
is
whoa,
a
whoa.
tilt-a-whirl head scissor into a Fujiwara armbar.
Into a Fujiwara
Yes.
armbar. The La Mystica is not the submission. Do not tell me.
I didn't say that was a
That.
submission. I said the La Mystica involves the tilt-a-whirl facebuster into the submission. The whole thing. Why are you so angry?
Well, you just
Because
changed
it's
what
not
you
what
said
you
and
said.
lied. Right?
Yeah.
No,
that's
he doesn't
why.
land in a submission. He just slams them. So it's not a La Mystica.
I believe that's the actual move.
Okay,
but
whatever. Who
Yeah.
cares?
I just hope editor Sean pulls up the exact clip of you saying La Mystica's a submission and then denying it afterwards.
La Mystica is actually a submission. I didn't say that was a
That.
submission.
The Mystic is actually a submission? I didn't say that was a submission.
Editor Sean.
Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Lance Storm is joining us here.
I'm bringing the fun.
Yeah, Lance is bringing the fun. I don't know if you guys can tell. How are you feeling?
Tired. I thought I was getting sick 2 days ago, but I seem to have dodged that bullet. I'm just exhausted from looking after Max.
Goodness gracious. All right, this person here says, I never considered that AEW had too many titles until now. A lot of people consider the interpromotional titles, such as Ring of Honor and CMLL titles, as one of their own, but I never considered it such. Now with the introduction of the national title, which serves the same purpose as one of the other belts that they discarded, as well as a bunch of other titles such as TBS, unified titles, I feel like Tony doesn't know what he's doing anymore. I wouldn't say he doesn't know what he's doing, but I would say that guy sure likes belts. And I think that's the biggest issue with the national title is that's what the international title was. The international title was specifically a belt that was supposed to be defended all over the world, different it was exactly what they're saying about this. They had it for a while, unified it. They unified it with a continental belt, and then created a third belt to represent the other two belts. And no matter what anyone says about the other two are gone, they're not, because Don Callis comes out with them.
Well, but also, too, like, they did this with the tag belts at one time. They unified, like, the Ring of Honor and the AEW or something, and they made a unified, and the tag team that came out had 3 belts. 'Cause I remember asking someone, I was like, what's the third? And they're like, oh, that's the unified one. And then there was a match where only one of them was on the line, and it was lost, and then they just became regular tag titles again. So they're going to do that with the Continental title and the International title. They're not permanently merged. They're going to, at some point, like I believe whoever wins the Continental Classic is just going to get a shot at the Continental title. And then they won't be unified anymore.
Well, yeah, we still don't know the answer as to what is going to be up for grabs in the Continental Classic. Whether they're actually going to split it up again or whether the Continental Classic is now for the unified title. But the point is, they had an international title. They decided to unify it. And then instead of doing the easy thing, which would be, well, let's split them up and the Continental Classic gets the Continental title and the other one is just now back to being the international title. They're still unified and represented by 3 belts. And we've created a new belt called the national title, which will be defended internationally to replace, I don't know, man. This is too many. This one is too many.
Agreed. And a lot of places have a lot too many. But I much preferred it when there was a classification, like a distinction of what they meant. Like when there was a cruiserweight title, it's like, okay, he's the best person in this weight class in the world. He's the world champion at cruiserweight, and he's the world champion at heavyweight, or even the pure title, at least. There are different rules. So you're the world champion under this rule set. And tags and trios, it's like there's a reason. But when there's a national, an international, a continental, a TNT with the men, and a world, there's 5 championships that are all technically in the same division. Like, even the Olympics only has gold, silver, and bronze. We have 5, and I think that's too much. I preferred it when there was a reason why there was a separate division.
This person here says, do you think Triple H, and I need this person actually to give me a follow-up text, says, do you think Triple H and John Cena put their heads down on their pillows at the end of the day and honestly think they've done a great job with Cena's retirement run? Do they even care? This has been one of the greatest retirement runs there's ever been.
Oh, you're forgetting the heel turn and the...
Okay, hold on. Yes, the heel turn...
Half of it was terrible.
Hold on. The heel turn sucked, but that was not John Cena's idea, nor was that Triple H's idea. That was The Rock's idea. He had them turn the guy heel, and then he vanished. They went 3 months with it. They realized it sucked, and they dropped it. But aside from that... If you look at what they've done with John Cena's retirement, if you look at the business they've done, the matches this guy has had, I don't know how you can say that this is like a disaster in any way. Should he have turned heel at Mania? Well, of course not. But at least they turned him back. And then they've had a great final half of the year with John Cena having the best matches he's... You guys, when do you think John Cena had a better match than the matches he's had this year? You got to go back to like 2016. To see a John Cena run like he's had this year.
But there's also been some really bad heel matches. I'm told. I didn't watch them.
Oh, they were terrible.
Yes, so it's not like it's all roses here, Mr. Alvarez.
Well, no, it's not. But my point is, he's blaming Triple H and John Cena for this run.
No, he's not. He's asking if they go to bed at night going, man, this was great. Or maybe they go to bed thinking, man, Rock really screwed this stuff up.
I'm sure they do, but at least they got rid of it.
Question.
Hey, listen, if he were still a heel... I would say they're putting their heads down at night and they're miserable. But that's not what happened. They switched the guy back, and it's been great ever since whenever it was. What, SummerSlam? Or did they go earlier than that? When did they switch him?
I don't know.
It was a while ago. So no, I don't think they're losing sleep over this run here. All right, this person says, whatever happened to the Creeds and Ivy? Maybe they're waiting until Gable can return. I did ask this question, and the only thing that I was told was that the Creeds will be back soon. I think they were on the shelf because of the Gable thing, but I mean, I don't like people being put on the shelf because a part of their group is injured. I don't like that. There's many things you can do to shift. There's stuff the Creeds can do. I also think wasn't one of the Creeds coaching a season of Ultimate Fighter? I think one of them was coaching a season of Ultimate Fighter.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
I think Julius.
I didn't even know there still was a season of Ultimate Fighter.
Or he was doing something MMA related. But this person says, what can WWE do to make Cody's title run more exciting or fun? Like, are we ever going to see Cody versus Randy or maybe even Sami Zayn? Well, for sure we're going to see Cody versus Randy. I don't know when, but we're for sure going to see that match. In the meantime, it does feel like it's kind of just running in place. You know, had that Drew match. How many times has he wrestled Drew? They need something for Cody, or he needs to turn heel. Which, honestly, I wouldn't turn him heel if they've got stuff coming up, like that's good. But if they've run through everybody, then maybe it's time.
And if you do, then I would do the Sami Zayn match.
Yeah. And I think obviously they were going to do something. Like they were going to do something with Jacob Fatu, but then, he had his dental surgery or whatever, so he was out. But yeah, it's the Cody one it's been boring. Looking back at Mania 40, when Roman lost his title to Cody, and fast forwarding to the present, do you think WWE made the right decision to end the reign, and was Cody the right person? I believe it should have been Seth. Absolutely not. Cody was 100% the right person.
And business was on fire when they did that
Guys,
switch.
Yeah, do you look at how the business is doing and what it corresponds with? Like the return of Cody to WWE and the Bloodline feud and Cody finally beating Roman Reigns. And it's not only that. Like I thought when Roman beat him in that first match, I thought that was the dumbest. I was there live. I thought that was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And they had this idea of extending it out another year. And what they actually did, if you go back and look at that year after Cody lost, is he essentially was the champion that year. He just didn't have the belt. He main evented every single show. He was the top guy in the company. He just didn't have the belt. So while they didn't make him the champion, he lost to Roman and became the top babyface. And that is when business started to explode. And then he won the title, and it went even higher. And so in no universe do I think that they made a mistake putting that title on Cody. And they put the title on Seth like he was the world champion, and it did not turn business around. It was just
Cody finishing his story was a gigantic success. I would not have changed it.
It was actually one of the biggest successes in the entire history of WWE. It was one of the biggest
in 20
successes.
years, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, people are going to get really mad, but it's literally on par with like Stone Cold Steve Austin winning the title from Shawn Michaels, because both of them, that was the impetus for a gigantic, like WWE has had 3 giant boom periods. The first was when Hulk Hogan won the title. The second was when Steve Austin won the title. And the third was when Cody won the title. So whatever you think about Cody or whatever, I mean, he's up there with Hulk Hogan and Steve Austin as a guy who won the title and the business completely turned around for his reign.
You're a little off in the business turned around and started booming before he actually won the title, but it was the Bloodline, Roman as the top heel and Cody chasing, that angle and that whole program with Cody and Roman. was huge.
Well, you're right.
Gigantic.
You're correct. But also, if you look at Steve Austin's title win, they also turned around before he won the title.
Yeah.
But once he won the title, like when he won the title, there might have been one show, but I don't think so. I think when he won the title in 98, like Raw won every show afterwards. There was never another show that NXT won. There might have been...
WCW.
Or WCW. There might have been... I'm trying to think about this.
I'm with you. For some reason, I think there might be one for some reason. Was there a dog show preemption or
No,
something?
you know what I think it was? I think... I don't know if they beat them, but there was like... When was Halloween Havoc with Goldberg and
with the
and they-
Overrun page?
Yeah, they went over and then they put the match on free TV, and I think that might have been the last time that WCW ever won. So, yeah. And then maybe, I guess, Nitro when Goldberg beat Hogan.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, that was pretty much... That's when they broke the streak and it was just done.
Yeah. Nobody in WWE is regretting the Finish the Story program.
No. What is going on with LA Knight? Is he actually in the doghouse as rumored? Guys, listen. When you're in the doghouse... You're not main eventing shows. You're not in number one contenders matches. I mean, it's not his time to be champion. But they see him as a top guy, and so they keep putting him in that top mix, but it's not time. And so that's why it'd be like saying Jey Uso is Jey Uso in the doghouse, because he hasn't won the title. This is just, not everybody can be champion, but you need main eventers.
And not being the champion doesn't mean you're not being pushed.
Exactly.
Roddy Piper, Paul Orndorff, they never won the championship.
Well, it's
They
like
were
Drew
big
McIntyre.
stars.
People are like, he's 2-18 in title matches in his last 20. It's like, yeah, he
He's
is.
a main event star.
And he won the title in there at some point, and he's a main eventer, and he headlines shows. But, like, we can't all be champion. It's all there
Unless
is.
we just add more
Yeah,
belts.
unless you want more belts, which I don't.
No, WWE has enough of them too.
Can you see a scenario where WWE allows Shinsuke to wrestle at the Dome show, but only if no AEW contracted wrestlers are allowed on the show? I mean, I could see that happening. I don't think it's happening. I don't think they care that much. But, I mean, I could see it happening. But I think if he's there, he's just there. I would be surprised if they made that demand. But it is WWE, and you never know. But still think it might be Shinsuke. Back in a moment, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Jared, put old Granny on. Let's see what she's up to. Oh, man, she's doing something. Oh, Lord.
She's trying to plug in the box, Brian.
Granny can't connect. And so I call her on the phone, and she alerts us that she apparently knocked the box off her desk. Whatever's happening right there, that doesn't look good. She knocked down the camera now? What's going on?
She's got a hold of the camera, I think.
She's okay. Well, we've got the ceiling at least. There's the box. Hey, we got the box, Jared. Does it look like it's plugged in?
No.
It's definitely not on.
No.
Okay. That's her back, I believe. She appears to be doing something.
Apparently yoga.
That's her hair. Are we sure that's not Ric Flair? Now she's got to find the phone, too.
Think anyone's going to still subscribe after the show?
I hope we get a bunch of video signups. This is interesting.
Is it now?
Oh, man, we can almost see the front of the tie line to see if it's on. But we can't. We can only see the side of it, as well as a flashlight and dice. I don't know why there are dice there.
Well, you never know when you're going to play dice in the dark.
She's still doing something.
That's good radio, boss.
Show that again, what's she doing?
You know what's a good show is the Big V Show.
Is it?
Or if you Poder Mania 2025.
She might be tying her shoe or something.
Ed and
down
San
there.
Antonio show.
Granny is furiously doing something. It's possible that we should sabotage the box every week.
No!
So that she can, get up and down, like Roddy Piper once said. No, I know. I'm calling you. Phone. I'm calling you. Oh, my God. How are you?
I'm exhausted. Oh, I want to tell Vinny I watched his show today.
Thank you, Granny. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good.
Good. That sounded very sincere.
Stunning review. Well,
Anyway.
can we please make that into a commercial, Jared, for Vinny's show? Apple Podcast carries every podcast that we produce.
Oh, I want to tell Vinny I watched his show today.
Thank you, Granny. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good.
Good.
So check it out, f4wonline.com/Apple. Try your free trial today. What is happening here? Yes, Granny?
I don't care if it's show or what. My computer went out and I can't fix it.
Okay. Jared, can you fix Granny's computer?
He tried to get a pin.
I am Steve.
Brian, what are you doing?
Now my child is sending me a voice message.
Steel chicken jockey.
Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Lance is joining us here today. Collision is tomorrow night. We got 2 Blood and Guts Advantage Series matches. In the men's Blood and Guts Advantage Series match 3, Jon Moxley is facing Roderick Strong. I'd put good money on Jon Moxley. And the women's Blood and Guts Advantage Series match 3, Harley Cameron faces Tekla. Actually, there's 2 on that show. That's the standby match. I think there's another one that comes first. But anyway, if it goes down to that one, I think Harley's winning and the babyfaces get the advantage, because if they beat Harley right after she got that big win over Athena and right before she faces Athena for the title, let me tell you what that would be. Stupid. So hopefully they don't do that. And then Raw Monday is in Boston. And we got John Cena's final appearance in Boston. Stephanie Vaquer versus Raquel Rodriguez for the women's title. Charlotte and Alexa versus Kabuki Warriors for the women's tag titles. The last time is now tournament first round with no frickin' brackets. Sheamus versus Nakamura. And Damian Priest versus Rusev. So that is the lineup for Monday's Raw. And we're going to talk about all this more this weekend with Dave Meltzer, Wrestling Observer Radio. Also, we'll be covering Collision and SmackDown on Sunday night on the Bryan and Vinny Show. And last night, Vinny and I spent quite a while reviewing both the Dynamite and NXT shows. And boy, was there a lot to talk about on both of those shows. All of those for subscribers. WrestlingObserver.com. You can also subscribe and get the podcast at Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. Just put F4WOnline.com, followed by whichever one you want. F4WOnline.com/Apple, F4WOnline.com/Spotify, F4WOnline.com/YouTube. And with YouTube, you get to watch the shows, which is always fun. If you sign up on YouTube, go back and watch Tuesdays Bryan and Vinny show where we had Granny's 96th birthday party. That was one to watch. So check it out. And that's it, everybody. We're going to wrap it up. Thanks, Lance. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll talk to you next time. Wrestling Observer Live.